Hey YouTube, this is Southern Prepper 1, and I have a huge problem. This problem has been plaguing me for about 3 or 4 days, and I can't find a solution. I contacted my buddy, Mr. Off-Grid at the Off-Grid Mountain Homestead. He is probably, by hands down, the most knowledgeable person I know on solar, off-grid living, heating and air, all that kind of stuff by far. And he's really, he doesn't have an answer for me. And the reason we can't have an answer is the money involved. This person contacted me, and they desperately need an off-grid plan in the sense of emergency backup. She takes care of her father. Her father's in the bed, and he requires oxygen 24 hours a day. He requires a CPAP machine. And usually, I can help people. Or they call me up and they want off-grid emergency backup power, but they don't have any money. And that's an easy solution. I can't help you. You have no financial resources to buy something. So then I go and say you need to just worry about, rain catchment for your water, candles, blankets, and things like that. This person lives in the central part of the United States, in the country, can have solar panels outside and have the ability to place them where they're going to get sun, no trees in the way. And they have to take care of her father. So to me, this isn't like, hey, I got to keep my Nintendo 64 running or my computer running or my refrigerator. This is, I got to keep my dad alive. They currently have a couple of days worth of bottled oxygen, so if they lose power, they can definitely get through, and they've had no problems for short-term emergencies using bottled oxygen. But for a week or so, they would have a really big situation, or if it's going to be off permanent. So I've actually been praying about it. It's been deep on my heart because, I need to find this lady an answer. Because this is life or death. This is her father living or dying. And it's, I hate to say it though, but in a situation when the grid goes down, either from an EMP or from an attack or just it breaks, a lot of people are going to suffer. A lot of people are going to die. I'm hoping other people have a similar problem. Well, I hope they don't have a problem, but hopefully they will help them fix their problem. Usually, I got answers for people, but this person needs an oxygen concentrator 24 hours a day. Without it, they would pass away. So their oxygen concentrator takes 410 watts an hour. They also have a sleep apnea machine that takes 240. So you add that together, they need 650 watts per hour, and roughly about 10 hours he's in bed sleeping. So just the 10 hours is going to require 6,500. During the day of about 14 hours, he only requires the oxygen concentrator. So it's only 410. But you do the math of 14 times 410, we have 5,740. You add them together, they need over 12 kilowatts, 12,000 watts of power. That's huge. Now, if you had $20,000, $30,000, we could come up with a really nice off-grid system for them. But they don't. Max is $5,000. So they're in the country. They don't have to worry about any restrictions putting the panels outside. They do have a generator, not a top-of-the-line generator, but it is a generator. It's, I think, a 3,500 watt, but it is not going to last forever, and it's loud. So we got to come up with a solution. I'm asking for your help. There's people out there a lot smarter than me in this area. So I'll tell you what we've talked about. Because the $5,000 is going to be limiting us, we can't go with a huge Blue Eddy or a Mango Power. Just there's not enough money to do that. So I know a couple companies are coming out with some great sales coming up, and I'll be talking about those in the next few days. A 2,000 watt machine, and it's probably going to be $1,000. So redundancy, could she buy 3 of those? That would cost her $3,000. Now that's only 6,000 watts, but when you take the efficiency rate of all those units, it's way down less than 6,000. So that 6,000 will not do this. Now, if she had a good day on solar, and during the sunny part of the day, if she could keep everything topped off, could she go through the night? No, she can't go through the night, because the 10 hours at sleep she's going to need 6,500. So 3 machines won't do it. Plus, she's going to have to unplug one machine and plug it back in. He needs the machine running constantly. So if they fall asleep and they don't switch it over, the man could perish in his sleep. And we don't want that. So I'm struggling for an answer. I mean, if we had more than $5,000, we could give her an answer, but she doesn't. I'm totally recommending probably the Honda 2200 generator. First of all, it sips gas. It's going to use a lot less gas than their one that they have. A lot less gas. It'll be quieter. And it's definitely this could be used as the backup to the generator. A Honda 2200 would definitely power things, but you need a lot of fuel. So really we have to get away from the fuel and go with some solar. So any ideas out there? They also would like to run for the rest of the family. They have a freezer, and then they have the refrigerator freezer in their kitchen. So there's some additional requirements. So really this is really high. This is life or death. Without electricity, he can go a couple days with the bottles, but after the bottles he will perish. So to me, I need to find an answer for this lady. Maybe there's not one. That's why I'm asking you to put your thinking caps on, especially you solar guys and gals that know solar a lot more than I know it. What options are out there? Now, if you just say stick with the Honda 2200, how much fuel? I mean, that could be good for short term or medium term, but we got to get away from the fuel. The fuel is only, that Honda 2200 is really basically going to be the backup to get those machines charged or to top them off before the night. Or if there's 2 or 3 days with no sun, even 1 day with no sun, the machine is going to be dead just because of the load she's going to place upon it to keep her father alive. So hopefully this will get you thinking. I want you to think about, you might have people in your life that needs medical equipment. Now granted, they might not need all of the power that this person needs. Maybe they just need a sleep apnea machine. Maybe they need an oxygen concentrator only certain times of the day. But I want you to evaluate your situation, your loved one's situations. If the power goes off for 3 days, could I keep people alive? How about my neighbors? Maybe you need to find out who's on a machine. It's better to find out now so you can start mentally preparing. Now, granted, if it's your neighbor, it's not your responsibility legally, but it is morally. If you could help them, if you could do something, it might be you can't do anything, but you need to know, because if that family has a member in that house and the power goes off for a certain part of time, you're going to need to know, hey, they're going to have a rough time. They're going to have a rough time emotionally, because if that person doesn't have electricity, they're going to perish. I need to be there at least to support them. Or I need to be able to maybe get them to a place that has power. Now, in a worst case EMP event or a massive grid down, there's not going to be a lot of these facilities, and there's so many people out there that needs power. So we need to come up with a solution, because this need cannot be met with $5,000. Anyone have any ideas that we could talk about? Put them in the comment section. This lady is eagerly waiting for maybe some solutions to push her in the right direction so she can make a decision and see what she can do. So this is not my typical video, but I'm stumped. I cannot give her an answer for $5,000. I could for a short term, 1 or 2 days, no problem. The Honda 2200 would cover a lot, but how much gas would she have to store? It brings up a hard question, though. I'll be honest with you, we're not going to be able to save every human being that we love, or every human being that we just have in our neighborhood. If the grid goes down with EMP, if the grid goes down with just a failure of the grid, a cyber attack. Also, what type of medical equipment will be totally damaged from an EMP attack against us? So, you might have no equipment that's functioning. So that's another thing we need to think about. Will these oxygen concentrators, will sleep apnea machines still be working after a deliberate EMP attack against the United States? So, a lot of questions. Anyone have any ideas how we can get this amount of energy, way over 12,000 watts a day, to sustain this life? Thanks for watching.